Okay, so I was right in the middle of making a video on Fortnite, but then I was like, screw it, I'm sick of Fortnite, everyone's making videos on Fortnite, I'm gonna make a video on a game that hardly anyone's talked about, a sleeper hit just dying to be talked about. That's right, I'm talking about the original Bioshock, a game that hardly anyone has talked about before and has generally gone unrecognized by gamers as a whole. So here we go, I'm gonna talk about Bioshock. 11 years after it came out, is it still good? Yeah, it's pretty good. Not the best game, but I liked it. Good game. That's the whole title. That's the title of the video we're watching. You're watching. I'm not watching it. The story of Bioshock is really the story of Rapture as a city. You play as some dude named Jack, and that's about all you're gonna know about him for most of the game. You start the game in a plane, second only to helicopters and the vehicles you definitely shouldn't be in a video game opening sequence. The plane crashes, and you, as the sole survivor of the crash, swim to a nearby lighthouse. You enter the submarine under a statue of some creepy dude and are introduced to the beautiful underwater city of Rapture, an ultra-capitalist utopia founded by Andrew Ryan. A beautiful city on the outside, but the second you enter it, well... yeah, maybe I'll just stay in here. Yeah, it turns out that the whole city has been overrun with splicers, people who abuse these things called plasmids, basically superpowers in a can that rewrite the user's DNA to give them incredible abilities, but eventually rewriting their DNA over and over again made them go a little crazy, just a little bit, just, you know, tiny bit. But hey, I mean, can you blame these guys for going a bit overboard? I mean, if I could mutate my DNA to get crazy superpowers like... oh gosh. Yep. Yeah, you know what? Never mind that. A man by the name of Atlas contacts you over the radio and asks you to help him and his family escape from the doomed city. And so you're off to explore Rapture and meet fun and colorful characters who almost all try to murder you. The characters you meet and interact with in the game are all memorable and interesting in their own right, but the true genius of Bioshock and the reason why a lot of people still talk about it 10 years later, despite what I said in the intro, is because of just how great the city is at telling the story of what happened to it. On the surface, the story is relatively straightforward, and if you don't bother to listen to the hundreds of audio logs that the citizens of Rapture have left lying around all over the place, you could almost miss it entirely. However, the city itself is... literally dripping with character and atmosphere. The detailed shops, restaurants, vending machines, and even things as simple as a blood trail leading to a corpse really give you a sense of presence in the game. Rapture doesn't feel like just a series of levels that you get funneled through like in so many other games, especially at the time. Rather, it feels like a real place, and discovering what happened to reduce this once great city to ruins as you try to find your way out is incredibly interesting and rewarding. Also, Bioshock's story is kind of famous for its twist in the story at the end of the story. I wrote story 3 times in that sentence. Okay, let's rewrite that. Also, Bioshock's story is kind of famous for its twist about 3/4 of the way through. I'm not going to spoil it here in case you somehow still haven't played it, but I will take a brief moment to ask everyone watching something. Would you kindly subscribe to this channel? Maybe give the video a quick like? You get it? Because... so Bioshock is first and foremost a first-person shooter, with little bits of RPG mechanics sprinkled in. There's your standard collection of guns, like the pistol, shotgun, machine gun, and flamethrower, but each gun has a selection of different ammo types. These can range from simply doing more damage to armored enemies, to setting tripwires with crossbow bolts. This can be useful, but honestly I mostly forgot about it and only switched to a different ammo type if I was running low on regular ammunition. Also, there's this camera thing that you can use to research enemies and make them take more damage, but it's kind of annoying, but doesn't interfere with the gameplay too much, so I don't know, whatever, it's fine. The main thing that sets Bioshock apart from other first-person shooters, gameplay-wise at least, are plasmids. Yeah, remember those things that made most of the population go completely insane and cause horrifying, painful mutations? You get to use those too! So, you know, hooray! Seriously though, plasmids are really cool and add a lot more flexibility to the combat, even if not all of them are super useful. I got through the game mostly using electricity, fire, and telekinesis, which are some of the first plasmids you unlock. Some of the other plasmids are pretty cool, like being able to shoot swarms of killer bees out of your hands like some sort of homicidal reverse pest control service, but the first three were my go-tos throughout the game. Electricity is especially useful, as it can shock enemies standing in puddles of water, which there's a lot of lying around because Rapture is flooding and underwater, so you know, that kinda happens. But it can also stun the big daddies for a short time. What's a big daddy, you ask? That is a big daddy. In all honesty, fighting the big daddies are some of the highlights of the entire game. There are two types of big daddies. One that deals with you at range with a railgun and grenade launcher, and one that just sprints towards you with a giant off drill that's super hard to fight when you're stuck in a small corridor and God! The big daddies are the protectors of these little sisters, genetically engineered children who were designed to collect Atom, a resource that you can use to upgrade your health and plasmids. The big daddies are designed to protect them when they collect the Atom from dead bodies around Rapture, and once you kill the big daddy, you're presented with a complex moral choice. Well, okay, it's not actually super complex. You see, you can get a small amount of Atom by rescuing the little sisters, restoring them from their creepy artificial state into... Okay, well, I guess that's slightly less creepy. Or you can get more Atom from just straight up murdering a child. Look, I didn't say it was a hard choice, alright? I played through the game on hard, and I still never felt like I was low enough on Atom to justify murdering a child. Choosing to harvest or rescue the little sisters you come across eventually decides one of the two endings you get. I mean, technically there's three, but one of the two is just a slightly different version of the second one, but whatever. There isn't too much nuance here. You're basically either the world's most perfect human being or the physical embodiment of all evil in the world, but I'll admit that the good ending made me tear up a little, so, you know, there you go. It's pretty good. So in conclusion, does Bioshock still hold up 11 years later? In my opinion, I'd say definitely. Some of the mechanics feel a bit dated, like the stupid hacking minigame that I forgot to talk about that is just the bane of my existence and so terrible. Why did they even include this? This is so stupid! Gameplay-wise, the game holds up pretty well, and the city of Rapture itself is still an incredible achievement, even by today's standards. You can pick up the original game or the remaster for pretty cheap nowadays, and I'd highly recommend it. Using my patented Ben is bread scale, I'd give this game a solid pretty good. It's a good game that I like playing and it's fun. That's it. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. I'm gonna be reviewing the other two games in the Bioshock the Bioshock series. No. I'm gonna be reviewing the other two games in the Bioshock series sometime soon, so if you're interested in watching those, why don't you hit subscribe so you can be notified whenever I post those if I ever get around to it. Also, you might need to hit that little bell, because I don't know how YouTube works anymore. Everything's changing. I'm so confused. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.